We begin at the beginning, and that is what I consider a sad and sorry story. Pirates who abducted 13 passengers, including 8 students, heading to sit the West African Senior School Certificate Examination in Bile, Degema Local Government Area of River State, have demanded 100 million naira for their release. An indigene of the area and immediate past youth president of Bile Kingdom, Dr. Osaki Miller, confirmed this to newsmen. The students were among the 13 passengers seized by the kidnappers along the Port Harcourt-Bile waterways on the 6th of May. They were whisked away after the hoodlums hijacked 2 passenger boats in a daring attack that had devastated the parents of the students. Speaking to newsmen, Miller expressed concern over the safety and health conditions of the victims. Noting that their families were traumatized, he questioned how the families could possibly raise such a huge sum and urged security agents to secure the release of the abductees. He called on the state sole administrator to ensure all the captives are rescued unhurt. I don't know how to feel about this. And we also need to be careful because the abductees are still in captivity. But I think that this is becoming a joke that is taking too far. 100 million naira for ransom. We throw around these figures every time. We just say it's in the news, 5 million, 10 million, 50 million, 200 million. And it just sounds like figures. Because now, the average Nigerian has had a relationship with a million. You want to rent a 2-bedroom apartment in most parts of Port Harcourt, you would spend over 1 million. Anybody who is a car owner has definitely touched 1 million. Right? So more Nigerians, even though they can't afford it, are now having romance and relationship with million. Because many of the things you want to do now have crossed the million threshold. So when we say 50 million, 100 million, it's a lot of money, but it's just one of those things. Do you understand how bad it has to be? 100 million naira demand for ransom. Let me tell you what 100 million naira can do. Million naira, if you have contractors that are willing to do the work. I say that because sometimes there are people who want to eat 80% of the money first. It can build 4 to 6 standard classroom blocks. Blocks, fully furnished with desks, whiteboards, and toilets. And the timeline would be between 3 and 6 months. And that project will be complete. With 100 million naira, you can sink 40 to 50 boreholes, providing clean water for 40 rural communities. And the timeline would be between 1 to 2 months. With 100 million naira, you can equip a primary healthcare center with delivery beds, essential drugs, and even solar power. The project will take 2 to 3 months. With 100 million naira, you can construct some roads, a short road. You can set up a community ICT hub. You can fund 200 youth in vocational training. That's government money. It's for project. It will affect a community positively. That is what kidnappers want to collect. You have to ask yourself where the confidence to demand such an amount comes from. It's very simple. It was inspired, motivated by the system. Think about it. Let's say you go for an interview, right? And they ask you, how much would you want us to pay you? You would answer that question based on 2 things. 1, your knowledge of the pay grade of that industry. You know that, people that work in this sector, that work in the position I'm applying for, very likely collect this range of salary. Right? Then also your knowledge of the organization you're applying to. You might know, oh, these people pay higher. But usually you make a demand based on a range. How did we get to 100 million? It is because many kidnappings have been successful before now. And they kept pushing it. 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. And people were paying. And the authorities did nothing. And even those who paid that were rescued were told to tell people that they did not pay. So the kidnappers, like businessmen, know that they can always increase price. What will happen? The customers will pay. Now, I've told you what you can do with 100 million. Let me tell you how long it takes to make 100 million. If you run a small business and your monthly revenue is between 500,000 and 2 million naira, that's what you make monthly. It will take you 5 to 15 years to make 100 million naira with that revenue coming in. If you have a medium enterprise and your monthly revenue is 5 to 10 million, it will take you 1 to 2 years to make 100 million naira. If you run a transport business, transport company, maybe boat, train, and what you take from a passenger each is 5,000 naira. For 20 passengers, you will get 100,000 naira. So let's say your daily revenue, collecting 5K per trip, is between 200,000 and 500,000. It will take you 1 to 2 years, best case scenario, to make 100 million naira. Now, of course, there's no way I would have all these conversations without adding this last category. If you are a civil servant and your salary is between 150,000 naira and 300,000 naira, it will take you 28 to 55 years to make 100 million. That is what people want to collect in 1 week. They did not start a new business. They did not discover the cure to cancer. They are not players in the alternative. They are not installing solar panels. They say, oh, there's a new thing we can do now to help you have steady and constant power supply. This is what they're asking for. Right? Now, if they are open to negotiation, as most things happen, they can now maybe bring it down. And you know what? In my beautiful country, most times they get paid. The saddest part of the list is that civil servants will need around 30 years to make that amount through legitimate means. Then you tell me why becoming a kidnapper would not be an idea in somebody's head. The authorities, you need to do something. Those WAEC candidates do not deserve to be abducted. They committed no crime by being Nigerians. And they were going to take exams because they believe that their future is supposed to be bright. So let's not prove them wrong. I'll open the phone line shortly. As you can imagine, or better yet expect, people are reacting because it's not funny. And so residents of River State, in an interview with our correspondent, called on the government to provide adequate security along the waterway to protect travelers. They also highlighted the need for job opportunities, noting that high unemployment rates contribute significantly to the rising cases of abduction and kidnapping. Others emphasized the importance of using technology to track perpetrators. They pointed out that since all Nigerians of legal age are required to have their NIN and mobile SIM cards are linked to NINs, it should be possible to trace the phone numbers used by the abductors to demand ransom. I don't even want to enter here. I don't want to, because we might not even have a robust big stories today. I'll play their voices and we move on to the next headline.
This our country. Sometimes I don't understand what is going on. because for a kidnapper to call and request for ransom, at least you could have find a way. There is a way you have to get the people that call. They have phone. We do NIN and all the rest of it in order to identify the hoodlums. Then how can they use that NIN and all those numbers that they have to identify the people, all these people that is terrorizing this?
Not stop it, because somebody might travel on the road and has issue. You might travel you have issue. The alternative is putting the trustworthy security men.
Even as to secure them well, then go for security. What the police they do? What all those navy they do? Let them there for the water, they secure all of them. Let the way go market, come back house if they fear. It's probably like that. Let them find solution for us. Make everything.
All right, to go from that, the Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, has urged Nigerians not to condemn the entire police force over the misconduct of a few officers. His statement follows a tweet by a user who expressed deep anger and frustration towards the Nigeria police, calling them monsters. In his response via his X account, Adejobi called for a more balanced view of the force and its personnel. He acknowledged the existence of erring officers within the system, but insists that they represent a minority. The Force PRO also called for public support for a meaningful reform in the police. Okay. Well, I can understand the Force PRO holding this position. I mean, he is the PRO, the Public Relations Officer. He's the image maker of the police. And so these kinds of statements that defend the force are expected from him. But even though he has to do this as an obligation, it is important that he tries to have what I will call romance with reality. Just have a close contact with what is on ground. ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, I can tell you for free, I'm sure you know, but this is a reminder, that the erring officers, the bad eggs, the ones that are spoiling the name of the police, or however you want to term them, the weeds, are not in the minority. As a matter of fact, you need connection and special grace of God to find a good policeman. I'm not saying they don't exist, but they are the ones that you will search for. But Sam, why are you saying this? Why did you not use allegedly? It is because, according to NBS statistics, National Bureau of this is a federal body. The police has not lost its position as most corrupt agency in Nigeria yet. And if he mistakenly loses that position, it will still be in the top 5 or top 4, meaning that it will make Champions League. This is NBS stats. It's not SAM. It's not Nigeria Info. It is a government agency that publishes this every single year. So first of all, ACP Olumuyiwa, you have to go to the Statistician General and say, sir, remove our name from that list first. Because Nigerians are quoting official sources. For the police to be the most corrupt agency, that means you have a lot of corrupt officers. So we might have to flip this script and say, the good eggs are in the minority, according to official sources. Secondly, the reason why this is not going to be easy for Nigerians to swallow, that we should not condemn the entire police force, is because the responsibility of a police officer is too critical for some kinds of mistakes. There are some jobs that you do, and your mandate, your responsibility is too heavy to make some useless mistakes. Case in point, doctors. The mistake of a doctor costs lives. Lawyers, pilots, preachers. Your work is directly connected to human life. So the mistake of a police officer is too critical. I say, well, understand, don't condemn us. We are trying. Because you are a person who is held to a higher standard. Thirdly, every member of a system is an ambassador of that system. If I go out tomorrow and do rubbish, this is what you very likely hear. Now, so Nigeria Info people, they do. I'm the one that did it. Sam Oracle Chinedu. But the larger conversation could be that I represent my station. Everybody in the same way represents their family, where they work, the badge they carry. So when one police officer does something and you hear Nigerians say, police don't come again. Yes, it was done by one man. But that man is an ambassador of the system he belongs to. And finally, ACP. If you were saying this thing and maybe last week, police had decided, you know what, we will turn a new leaf, then maybe we will take it. But as of today, the 26th of May, 2025, the last week in May, if we tell Nigerians, go around this country and record any police officer that you see just to be sure that they are doing what is right, I bet you won't have enough data to download the atrocities that you will find. Just yesterday or the day before, there's a video where somebody is asking for 5K, 5 liters of fuel. I don't know if he saw filling station manager on the head of the person that he stopped. So ACP, let your work speak louder than your words. When you guys change, we will know. Believe me, they know the third person. 08179230002. 08179230003. WhatsApp is 08090306416. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. You can watch, listen, and engage. Please turn off your radio as you call. It is very necessary. Good afternoon to you, Sam. Happy 58th Earth Day to my darling River State. May God guard and protect the indigent and non-indigenous living in rivers. And I pray there to be perfect tranquility in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Yes, Rivers is 58 tomorrow. Going to have conversations that bother on the history, the present, and the future of the state. Sam, greetings. Imagine what these innocent Nigerians will be going through in the hands of those kidnappers. Government is spending huge amount of money on security, and yet insecurity is doubling on daily basis. What's the essence of security vote to governors when they cannot make use of security vote to secure the citizens? That's from Thank God. That's a valid question. Where does the security vote go? Jude calls from Omuma. Hello, Jude.
Yes, Sam.
Good afternoon.
I'm so happy to hear the way you make it very, very clear. The argument of the Nigerian police that we should not put them the level we have, that they are the most corrupt group in Nigeria. You made it very clear. But you see, my personal worry is Nigerian police have been rated as the most corrupt. And I'm looking at it and pleading, I would say warning, the Nigerian judiciary not to take over from the level we have found the Nigerian police. If something is not done as speedily too, we will be rating the Nigerian judiciary either taking over or at the same level as the Nigerian police. And these are people that serve the people. They say the last hope of the common man. They work in pari passu with the Nigerian police. So please, the Nigerian judiciary, do something fast so that you don't get to that level or overtake the Nigerian police. I don't know when both of you go the level we are going. I don't know a place we can call our country. A country, these two people or these two groups or agencies have taken over in the level of corruption. So Nigerian judiciary, the Nigerian police, do something and very fast.
All right.
And I thank you for the analysis you have given us.
Thank you very much, Jude. Chima calls from Rumokuta. Hello, Chima. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Let me wish River State happy birthday. And I pray that we in River State have to see how we support the administration here in River State. Without that, let me just take a little print about this security thing in River State and this, what they calling it, demand that these people are making. It is so appalling that people that are from River State that will involve themselves in such acts, kidnapping River State people, demanding for 100 million naira. Mr. Oracle, let me tell you something. If you go to this Riverine area, which I have already said before, why is it that since the inception of this cultism something or militancy or whatever you want to say, that those Riverine area, government has not killed or shot or arrested any of those their strong men? Like the one that we have here, they call him, that we used to have Subaba, one that killed the DPO at Ahoda police station, and what was the other one again, Don Wane. Why is it that all these people that police can be able to track are of the upland? In that Riverine side, that Calabari area, I don't want to call the name for them to say I'm going sentimental. Why has police not been able to track any of them there? We've not had any of those boys them there being caught by police or killed by police. But rather, we usually hear they give them chiefs. They patronize them, give them Royal Highness's names and whatever thing. If you see the way these people from that community embellish people for this their fire something, if you go there, I've gone to bed there, you will see a boy doing fire. How they hail him, you will pour money in that community. You understand? Now, when you say people are kidnapping, it is those people there, those boys that are kidnapping, and those people in that Calabar area cannot give information to the police, and they will be shouting that the government doesn't want to help them. But those people that are doing those bad in the upland, go and take statistics, you will see our government is catching them. About 20% of them have been caught by government are of the uplanders. No one in Riverine area. So to me, just to be in the area, they know what they are doing.
Okay.
They know what they are doing. Thank you very much. My name is Chima. I'm calling for Mokuta.
All right, thank you very much, Chima. JJ calls from Port Harcourt Town. Hello, JJ.
Yeah, Sam, good evening.
Good evening.
Sam, our people say that when they are carrying dead body that is not related to you, all you see is firewood that is being carried. If you know the pains the people of these people are passing through right now, you will not even want to go that angle that the last caller goes. But that said, Sam, when the state of emergency was declared in Rivers State here, I don't know if you remember that Kayode Egbetokun, our IGP of police, first he said he deployed 10,000 men to Rivers State. I don't know if you can check that news.
Yeah.
You can get it from the Punch newspaper, from the cable, from Daily Trust, and all those. You can get that, right? And in addition, 2 days later, he said he's deploying additional 5,000 men to Rivers State. Where are those people right now? I don't know, Sam. So for me, if we have, based on the assertion of the IGP, that we have like 15,000 additional policemen in addition to what we have already, how come this whole thing is still happening? And it happened like it has come to stay, because those people have stayed for close to 1 month right now. They are supposed to write the exam. The exam is ongoing and all those put together. Sam, reason with me now. Meanwhile, the police spokesperson is telling me, oh, we should call them fine boys. They are not corrupt. They are not this. They are not that. See, we should call it by what they are. Maybe even the one is calling good egg, have even turned rotten egg along the way before they come back and become this. Along this West Road here, when Tom Alesi was the chairman of MOA local government, you can, as you're driving to maybe Ahoda, you will be seeing one police checkpoint from another. That is from the one you are now. You'll be seeing the next one. Meanwhile, they will hijack box and take them away for 1 week, 2 weeks. Who is fooling who now, Sam?
All right.
When the police people were even guiding the MO Akalabari road,
Thank you,
they
JJ.
were kidnapping up and down until our mama soldiers came in.
I have to
We
move
should
on
call
now.
them by the name so that we can shame the devil. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Clinton calls from Bori. Hello, Clinton. Good afternoon.
Sam Morocco, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I had this argument, this conversation with Kalada when he was here. The Nigerian police force are like, what we call it, a labor union that should seek what we call a self-redemption, seek for their salvation. Because Nigerians have not lost trust in them. You are saying that the Nigerian police force, we should not blame them. Who are we to blame? What is their primary responsibility? And how many of them are living up to the bidding? Majority of the Nigerian police force officers are corrupt. This one is not allegedly. Before you see a good one, it is rare. it is very rare. I mean, they should seek for a self-seeking path, look for their righteousness, because Nigerians are tired. Then on the issue of waterline security, I think something is wrong somewhere. We need to overhaul the system. The security outfits, the Marine Forces, Army, Navy, they are not doing enough. They are more concerned about bunkering. They should try and secure those traveling on that route. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ken, hello.
Good afternoon, SOC.
Good afternoon. Please go ahead.
Yes, I can. Calling from Ubum.
All right.
SOC, I think I really don't understand what the police PRO was saying. I don't know if he is saying that they should not blame the senior officers or the junior officers. Because as far as I know, it is their fault, the senior officers' fault, who in the time of their screening. SOC, let me remind you, are you aware that there was a time, if one wants to secure a job, they will trace that person down to his community, down to his mother's kitchen. How far and how long has this police personnel has practiced this exercise in order to fish out or to know the bad eggs amongst them? I believe that their issue has been overemphasized. Let them buckle up and know that the security concern of this country is in their hands.
All right. Thank you very much, Ken. I had to let you go. Very quickly, the Rivers Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, has expressed optimism that despite ongoing political uncertainties and challenges, Rivers State will emerge stronger and more united. Ibas made this remark during a special interdenominational Thanksgiving service held at the Ecumenical Center in Port Harcourt on Sunday to mark Rivers at 58. He urged political, traditional, religious, and community leaders to prioritize the collective good of the state above all divisions. Let's see what we can do with the messages. Greetings, Sam. Imagine what these innocent Nigerians will be going through in the hands of those kidnappers. The government is spending huge amounts of money on security. Okay, I think I'm taking that. Poor people kidnapping poor people and punishing the poor. They've made those guys miss their WAEC exams and they're still demanding 100 million from poor people. What a wicked society and heartless people. John from Port Harcourt says, the issue of Nigeria police is troublesome. How do you explain that policemen stationed in front of their headquarters collect money from drivers in open day time? It's annoying and it's a total insult to the system made to uphold and instill discipline. We need total reforms in our Nigeria police. Kelechi from Mile 3 says, if we say those WAEC candidates don't deserve to be kidnapped, is there any Nigerian or group of Nigerians that deserve to be kidnapped? For me, emphasis should not be on what 100 million naira could do, but on condemning the heartless, causeless, inexplicable, and inexcusable evil called kidnapping. I get your points, but I do not see how that was not established. Well, this is where we wrap up. Thanks for being here.
Congratulations, dear listener. It is not by chance that you are tuned in to your favorite radio station at this time of the day.